planting in carrots, potatoes, and wheat seeds at differing elevations, making sure to take time and breed up my cat army in between. I spent the rest of that evening chopping down spruce wood, where I had an interesting run-in with this zombie. The next morning, I accidentally bought way too many pants from this man before purchasing myself a new diamond sword.
Wow.
After trading with my farmers for some more levels, I rolled a looting 3 enchantment as well as lined up a smite 4 enchantment, which I intended to use very soon. Unfortunately though, my villagers were now on strike, protesting the 16-hour workday I just put them through. So I spent a while that night collecting some more stone before picking fights with the locals to get levels that way. The next morning, I watched this man get absolutely manhandled before revisiting my villagers for some more XP, since they were no longer mad at me. Finally, I collected the new Smite 4 sword, and before long, I had a new and improved weapon that was much better than the junk I was using previously. That night, while chopping some more trees, I had a pretty good opportunity to put this bad boy to use, and might I say, it does a pretty fine job. Day 32 was a good one, not just because my kitten army was now reaching max capacity, but because it was finally time to start that new project that I have been hinting at. I flew out to the nearby ocean to scout locations before setting up a chest to hold all of my relevant materials. Like pretty much everything I do in life, I could only assume that I've grossly underestimated what this new project will entail. So I spent the rest of that night collecting more stone, dirt, and wood than I thought I would need. Bright and early the next day, myself and the kitten crew set off to find their new home, which, if you haven't gathered it by now, will be in the creeper farm we are about to build. Straight away, I got constructing these dirt platforms in the ocean, which was a great opportunity to practice the teleport trick that I've been training them to learn the past few days. With all of the cats in place, I started constructing a dirt pillar all the way up and began building the creeper farm the only way I knew how, from the bottom up. This first area is going to be the kill chamber, aka where the creepers fall and meet my looting 3 sword. The next morning, it was time to build up the central funneling system, which basically catches the creepers in water and then pushes them into the drop chute. You see, nothing makes me feel quite brain dead like watching a Minecraft tutorial. So I'm really trying to avoid watching one and go purely off memory for this farm instead. This did mean, however, that a fair bit of trial and error was required to get the water streams how I needed them. But hey, at least my little brain was enriched, right? Now it was time to build the actual spawning platforms. The first step here was to build the platform itself, followed by placing in a series of carpets which prevent spiders from spawning. From there, you simply head down, grab a cat, lure it up to the center of the platform because creepers are scared of these little guys, and then you just repeat the process over and over and over, making sure to also go through and add trapdoors to the roof, which will ensure no zombies, skeletons, or otherwise other tall boys will spawn here, as well as along the edges, which ensures the creepers will actually want to yeet themselves off. This was a process that took me the next 4 days to finish, partially because 12 layers is a lot to build, and also because, like I said before, I am awful at planning and had to regularly go back and collect more materials. But finally, on day 39, I began construction of the massive roof above the farm. You see, creepers, like really any mob in this game, need complete darkness to spawn, and this will ensure my farm is running at maximum efficiency. And finally, after nearly 2 hours of work, the farm was fully operational. Well, this is anticlimactic. They're not coming. Why aren't they coming? What's going on? Yeah, it didn't work. Either I built something wrong, or all of the creepers in my world just decided that, you know what, they're actually cool with cats. So, against my sanity, I checked out the classic tutorial from Logical Geek Boy, which this farm is pretty basically loosed on anyways, only to realize I still need more blocks outside that the creepers think they can walk onto. So that night, I moseyed my way carefully down through the platforms, replacing torches to turn off the fire. Oh Jesus, I just hit my cat. Before getting back to work on the platform extensions on day 40. I was already regretting my decision to slaughter all of my sheep earlier in the video, since now I was out of carpets. So I spent the rest of that evening collecting more sheep in a holding pen, before leaving myself this handy dandy reference sign, so I would actually remember what the heck I was doing upon logging back in the next day. The next day, coincidentally, both in-game and real life, I had a different different idea about how to get some wool. So I set off exploring instead. I took a quick little pit stop at this nearby village, but found nothing more than some leather armor, not sure what that's good for, before raiding their crop fields and heading out to shear some sheep in the wild, because I need wool and I need it now. In fact, doing this me even a better idea to get my grubby melon hands on even more wool. But this one involved a more dangerous trip to the ancient city, which